Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Welcome back to n8sroom's podcast. I'm your humble host, N8. I got one of the coolest dudes on the planet right now, my dog, willonious, bro.
Bro,
What's happening, homie?
chilling, man. You know what I'm saying? Just
What's
vibing.
up, Zaddy?
Yeah, man. Got my little orange juice. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stay hydrated. So,
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. That boy staying healthy with his orange juice. I see you, man.
yeah, man. How about
Yeah,
yourself?
that's
How you doing?
no, I'm good. I'm good, dog. We just been in half and half quarantine. You know how it is in Fort Lauderdale, man, and in South Florida. We like
How is
half
it
and
down there,
half
though, man?
quarantine.
Because, like, I'm from Palm Beach, man, and honestly, like, aside from the stores being closed or, closing early or whatever, like restaurants, it seems like normal. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really notice, like, a big difference. Like, I don't go out at night, but aside from that, like, everything just seems the same to me.
Yo, same here, bro. Same here. I feel like nothing's really changed. Just a few maybe stores that we used to eat at closed down or
Mm.
stuff like that. But most of them are doing takeout, so it's like even better.
Do you
Don't have
think
to,
people are taking it serious, like the whole Corona thing?
man,
I see people
man.
with masks. Like I go to the grocery store, I see everybody got masks on. So like,
Yeah, but I mean, just like what my homie Greg was telling me, like nobody's really taking the precautions because they'll have the gloves on, they'll have the mask on. Greg said he was driving on one of his routes and he was seeing somebody in the mirror, like they had their gloves on, their mask on, and the dude pulled down the mirror, the little driver mirror, and then he took his gloves and went like this in his hair and shit. Like he probably touched mad shit in the grocery store and stuff, and he's still. Like, it's just tough, man. Like, I don't know, but I think half and half of like South Florida are taking. I think a quarter of South Florida is taking it seriously.
yeah, yeah.
The rest of us are just like,
For me, it's been like I don't know, cause like I miss my friends that are like in different states and whatnot, and like their experiences was way different. Like I got a lot of friends in New York, and they're on lockdown, but like, and they're kind of like some of them freaking out. But I think for me, like my job, I kept working. So like I told you, I was working in construction. So like my job is like essential work. So like my routine really didn't change. So like my paradigm didn't get like shifted because I'm not locked inside the house. So I can see maybe if you were like, you lost your job or your job was like working from home, how shit might just like really fuck with you. I'm sorry I'm cursing so much, but things
hey,
like
nah, you good, bro, you good.
yeah, but things might really change or whatever. But yes, I mean I've been blessed. Like luckily, I've been able to continue working, and I just like my routine is pretty much. They had to cancel my boxing gym that I was going to. We had to stop doing that. But and I can't do stand up. But other than that,
Would you consider doing like live stand up, like how some people are doing some like live stand ups
I did it once.
Instagram Live?
And it's. I mean, I guess if it's the only thing to do, like what I've been doing is just recording music. So recording comedy songs. I was just like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I think that it's definitely a lane. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird how like so long ago or years ago, stand-up comedians were. I don't know, maybe you can call it hating on Instagram comedians, and now like they're forced to become Instagram comedians. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's interesting how things just kind of
Change up.
yeah.
Tables turn.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I might try it. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it, but to me, it's just it just seems like it's going to be the way things are going right now. You know what I'm saying? It allows you to connect with people, so you just like adapt to that new medium. Like I was literally like, it's funny you say that because like before we got on the call, I was watching the Instagram Live with Tony Rock, and it just made me think about just like when you start out doing stand up, like you just suck at the beginning, so you're just like bombing. Some people pretty decent, but maybe starting out, but for the most part, like you're just bombing, trying to eventually get a 5-minute set. You know what I'm saying? You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable on stage. So the same way, like, working this new, internet medium, you have to be comfortable just like, hey, you know what? I'm a bomb. I'm going to look weird. I'm going to be maybe awkward in front of these, just talking to my phone. And then eventually it just becomes natural. And then you're able to just, be your normal self on this platform. So I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. I have no idea where things are headed. Honestly, with this, man, I like to try to make predictions, but I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, none of us do, man. We can all try to, say what we think is gonna happen, but it's just so unpredictable because we've never been through a situation like this in our
Crazy,
lifetime.
right? Like
Our parents, nobody.
Legit, like something that we've never experienced in our lifetimes, and the whole world's experiencing at the same time, which is like a very interesting phenomenon. I think that I was talking to my friend about this, man. I was like, I, I don't see things going back to normal though. Like I don't think things are going to go back to the way they were pre Corona. So I think I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know how long this is gonna last, but it just won't go back to the sense where 100,000 people or 50,000 people at a concert. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I just don't see that happening like in the very immediate future.
Right.
Even once like, hey, we can go back to like the ban is lifted. Like, I just think that a lot of things are gonna change and. A lot of industries, man. Like it really made me just like, damn, like there's a lot of industries where it said connections unstable. You still hear me?
Yeah, I can see. Okay.
A lot of industries, man, is just like you just like, damn, like essential work and a lot of careers, you just like shit. Like even like with stand up, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, it's something fun. But I was like, is it really necessary? You know what I'm saying? Like when you really break it down, it makes me think of just like industries and things that people did, maybe hundreds of years ago, 50 years ago, like what is like essential for you to like survive? Because like at this point, you really think of like survival, farming, know how to like grow your own crops and sustain yourself, and not have to really like depend on the government because they could just like, what if your check doesn't come in the mail or a direct deposit? Then you just like, I'm waiting on this money from the government and it never comes and you gotta feed yourself and feed your family.
Yeah, and you make some good points there because I think that a lot of people, because this is just the beginning. That's what a lot of people are not understanding, that it's just the beginning. And so everybody, they got their jokes to say on Instagram, which is fine and lighten up the mood a little bit. But I'm just hoping everybody is putting things in place and kind of taking it a little bit more serious so that they'll be okay in the near future that's coming. Because I don't think things are going to get super bright from here. I think if you just plan yourself out properly, you'll be okay. But if you're just thinking this is just something that's going to blow over like tomorrow night or next week, then you're in the wrong mindset and you got to get ready for something like this. This is unpredictable. So you got to get yourself prepared, whether it's nutrition or getting your mind right or just looking into different careers or whatever you got to do, like you said, to survive, because like we just don't know how it's going to play out. And if history repeats itself, like how we had the Great Depression in 1929, that type of shit, I don't know how that would even play out in today's world. I don't even know what that looks like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, food shortages and shit like that. That's crazy, dog. Like, when have you lived in America and there was a food shortage? Like, that's almost like impossible to think that. But just hearing news on like different pork, industries closing down because their workers are getting sick. The drivers who drive the foods are getting sick. A lot of these people in the food industry, they're just like kind of don't want to risk it because they don't want to get their family sick, and they're staying indoors, and it could get really crazy. So we stay optimistic, of course, but also prepare. We got to prepare the best way we can.
Seeds, man.
I bought some seeds like last week, bro. I bought a whole bunch of just in case. I mean, I got to start planting them now so that, something will happen, but
it's a weird, it's just a lot of people that are used to growing up in like rural areas or maybe, island folk, I feel like they'll do better than a lot of people that are just like,
agreed.
New York City where it's just a concrete jungle and you're so dependent on that infrastructure to live, to transport yourself. Like New York's an island. So like literally you can't just get off that island, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're kind of trapped. in a sense. But so I mean, luckily we're blessed to kind of be here in Florida that, you know, we can, you know, have some sunshine and like good air and can like move around. But yeah, man, it's just a lot of thoughts that you didn't never have to think about, of like survival thoughts. And you just like, shit, like, I mean, you just think about industry, man. I was thinking about last week, I was like, man, I spent so much money on clothes, you know, over
Yeah.
decades, man. And you're just like, none of that matters. Like trying to get fresh, you know, obviously you want to maybe, you know, be hygienic and whatnot, but like, you know, buying, you know, $300-400 shoes and stuff like that, like
Right.
it's not essential. Like it's literally like my mindset is now is just like, what is essential? Like just stack those things up. Even just looking at like investments, like I've been looking at like precious metals. Like I've always like bought precious metals, but even that though, it's just like, you know, I have it, and they always say like silver, you know, things crash, silver will go up and gold and stuff like that. But you can't eat that precious metal. So
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So you still gotta have somebody that'll want to barter with you or something.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have, you know, you can have all this money in your bank account, this and that, but like if you don't have access to food, if you don't have access to shelter, like what good is it? You know, well, you don't have access to the bank.
Right.
If you get money out of the bank, like what's the point of even having thousands, $100,000, billions of dollars if you can't get your money?
None of that. Yeah. Yeah. You can only take out $100 a day.
Bro, I'm telling you. So it's like, man, it's I don't know. I mean, it's a very interesting time, man. It's a very interesting time.
Yeah. Which definitely I want to get into the topic of since you've done a lot of research on breathing, and we talked about it pre-COVID when you were in n8sroom. We actually talked about it in person, but just for this situation specifically of us going through what we're going through, how can like your doing breath work help us through, you know, these stressful times and these uncertain times? How can breath work help do this?
I think probably the biggest way is to allow you to de-stress. You know, like just doing. I was actually listening. I was on this like Zoom call earlier with like meditation people, but we were just talking about like just different breaths that you can do. But I mean, the most common breath is just like a very simple breath to just get yourself centered, and you know, just focusing on your breath through your nose. It has a like a calming effect on your actual like your system, and just like letting your system know like everything is okay. But yeah, just focusing on your breath, because like a lot of time, you know, I think we talked about last time, it's just like when you start to become stressed out, your breathing changes. So, you know, you maybe start breathing faster, or you start breathing more shallow, and it just overall like affects your system. So like doing like conscious breathing is probably one of the biggest things you can do. Like that's what I try to do every day, you know, just like take a moment. And sometimes in the morning, like I don't, you know, I'm like running out of the house or whatever. But I always, no matter what, like I take at least 3 to 4 moments throughout the day and just do some conscious breathing. So like expand.
Can I get an example of how you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it?
Yeah. So what I do is I always just sit straight. And I sit like erect, so like my posture is like good, and it's, you know, like there's a good channel. And then, so what I do is they have like the complete breath, but the main thing to focus on is just making sure that when you inhale, your stomach expands, and when you exhale, it contracts. So a lot of times when people, they breathe, they take a deep breath and their stomach goes in, and that's like the improper way to breathe. So if you just take a breath, so you just breathe, and make sure you want to fill your stomach up first before you fill your chest up. So you got kind of going from your stomach and up. So breathe in, hold it, and then exhale. I exhale through your nose. You can exhale through your mouth, but I prefer to go through your nose. But what I've noticed is the more subtle you can make that breath, the better it is for you. So, and sometimes it's hard because you just have to get used to like actually making yourself consciously breathe that way. But the more you do it, it'll start to become like unconscious. Like, I don't know if you can feel it, but like whenever I do that, bro, if I do it like 2 or 3 times, like I feel like a surge of energy kind of like go through my body. I don't know if you.
Nah, I've done that like when I was sick. When I was
Okay.
sick, and I told you I had the flu. Oh, not the coronavirus, but it was pre-COVID, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I basically did that, and I felt like some. But this one, I had put my hands together and my feet together, and I stood up, and then I let my stomach expand out, and then I went out, and I felt like my, I don't know, some weird tingly feeling like through my arms.
Yeah, all the sensations.
Yep.
So it's like they have like different mudras, different ways you can position your hands. In like qigong, there's different postures that you can do. For like the condensed breathing. They got this thing called inside air. So there's different like positions that you can be in, but for the most part, you just want to like exhale, like inhale, get as much oxygen, prana, chi, whatever cosmic energy is pretty much all the same thing. The whole school of thought is you have oxygen and then you have this cosmic energy that encompasses the air in esoteric theory, thinking. I don't know, scientists probably like, well, that's bullshit. I don't know, but there's when you're breathing in, what do they say, prana, you're breathing in that energy into, so you're breathing in and it's like breathing into your system, cleansing it, and essentially you want to get as much of that air as possible inside your body. So it's like consciously breathing that prana in. So yeah, they got a lot of different like mudras to do. I don't do it much. I mean, I do for qigong. The qigong practice I do, I have specific movements that I do. Like there's one. It's kind of like you've probably seen it. It's pretty much a qigong stance. So you kind of stand with your knees kind of pointed in, back straight, hands on the side, and like your head kind of tilted up, and your butt back a little bit, and you want to breathe in. Condensed breathing, you're breathing into your arms, breathing. It's almost like you're condensing all the energy. So you do that, and then you want to. This area right here is called the Dantian. So it's like a energy area. I don't want to. If there's any qigong people on here, I'm still learning, so don't come for me. But this is you want to this is the area you kind of want to focus on. You generate a lot of power from this area. It's kind of your solar plexus is right here. So when you're doing your condensed breathing, you want to focus your mind into this area and whatnot. But that's more like qigong. Like I'm still learning qigong. So I'm not a qigong master. So I don't want to be. People can go on YouTube or whatever, kind of learn that. But
you got a good breakdown.
Yeah. So I mean, but they have different breaths. Like one of the breaths, the people like the microcosmic orbit is one that's a really good breath to do. The condensed breathing, and it's a breath called inside air, which is the breath that you did when you were actually inside your mother's womb.
Oh wow.
Yeah. The microcosmic orbit is you can look that up on YouTube. Inside air, I've only learned about that because of the particular form of qigong that I've been studying, which is tidal wave qigong. And condensed breathing, you can find that as well. But the main thing is literally just like, in my opinion, just like conscious breathing. So just taking those moments and just sitting down. You can stand up, sit down, and just like inhaling, exhaling, and just do it for a while. And then like you said, you'll feel the sensations throughout your body. And I found that whenever I've gotten or felt sick in the past, I would just do conscious breathing for like 5-10 minutes, and maybe a couple of times a day, and then like the next day or maybe a couple of days later, like I would just feel.
How many times a day do you refer people to do the breath work? Like as many as you want, or just 2, 3?
Yeah, I mean,
you're all right.
Yeah, I would just. I mean, honestly, I guess everybody's body is different. and whatnot, you know. So I would try to just maybe in the morning and at night, in the daytime, you know, probably if you have some time in the day. I just think that anytime that if you feel uneasy, if you're starting to worry or feel stressed out, like time to just take a step back and just breathe, you know, because like it like instantly changes your mental state, you know, where you're able to just kind of like put everything in perspective and not like worry so much. So and that was I found myself doing that like when this first like kind of like started to pop off, like it's kind of natural for you just to be like, oh shit, like the world's coming to an end. Like this is about to be crazy. So so I
Jesus
just
coming back.
yeah, man, bro, I'm telling you, man. So I was like, okay, you know what? I have to. I was like, my whole thing was like, don't panic, like prepare, you know. And I mean, we talked about that before. Like, I try to be very selective as far as like the images that I allow to come into my mind, you know. So I think I strongly believe like constantly watching updates on Corona is not a good thing for your mental state.
Oh,
I feel like you're attracted to you more so doing that, like watching CNN every day and just watching updates because it's just like one you'll be looking for symptoms. You almost you know what I'm saying. So you get a little cough in your throat, you're like, oh shit, I got that the Corona like is that you know what I'm saying. So like anything that's going to it's like confirming it, and then you're gonna be like magnifying it, and it's just like you know your body will just,
that kicks in too.
yeah man it'll just respond to that and like you know it's I always just believe, you know, everybody has their own belief system as far as like the way life works. You know what I'm saying? Like my belief system, I mean, science kind of proved it. Like we're energetic, magnetic beings. You know what I'm saying? And so we attract things to ourselves, and we have you know these energy fields around us. So you know, I mean, you say it all the time: protect your energy. So if whatever this thing is, if it's out there in the ether and it's like going around, like you don't want to attract it to you by constantly focusing on it, you know, and looking for it because you know if you seeking it, it'll probably find you. So that was my first thing. Was like, okay, I was like, man, I got to get my mindset right. Like, I was like, okay, well, what is this? I went through the whole like I looked at like all the conspiracies and just to know what's out there because I was like, all right, whatever. And then I was like, well, what can you do? I was like, there's two options. I was like, if the world's is it gonna come to an end or it's not coming to an end? If it's gonna come to an end, then there's nothing to worry about because it's over. So yeah, so if it's not gonna come to an end, do you choose to live or do you choose to die? Well, I choose to live. So okay, so what do you need to do to make sure that you can live through this? So the first thing is yeah, so the first thing is like, all right, I need to make sure my immune system is on par. And so I was like, all right, well, what are the herbs that I need? What are the supplements that I need? What type of exercises do I need to be doing? So that way I'm in the best shape that I can possibly be, you know? I mean, studies are always proven like the act of exercising in general will, you know, elevate your mental state. So just, you know, doing 10 push-ups or jumping jacks or whatever will elevate your mood. You know what I'm saying? Then I was like, okay. Then I started looking up like, well, what are the herbs that, you know, you can potentially take? So one of them's like, I got actually bottle here. So colloidal silver, which is
Put that up to the camera. Colloidal silver.
Colloidal silver. So this is like it's good for your immunity, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. I take black seed oil. I take some of this every day.
Oh, nice. Ethiopian black seed oil. Nice.
Yeah, so I do this every day. Black seed oil is apparently like they say it cures everything but death. It tastes like gasoline, but man, it's so good for you, man. So and then I just recently found out with this stuff. It's called chaga. Chagas is good for your immune system, anti-inflammatory. it has melanin in it, which thought that was like really interesting. And then, you know, obviously like, you know, mom's Jamaican, so you got like the natural herbs, lemon, ginger, yeah, it's cayenne pepper, you know. Yeah. So you got, you know, just normal things, but so yeah, I'm telling you, bro,
CMOS.
but so I think with that, man, it's just like, you know, just looking at it, it's just like, you know, your body's like, it's a whole system. So, you know, taking care of your mental as well as your physical body. So the mental is like, you know, not watching, because that like just watching the corona stuff, it'll give you anxiety, man. You're like, damn, it just keeps going up every day. And it just, you know, so if you watch it, you can't help but just feel a certain type of way. So I was like, all right, that was number one. I was like, stop watching news. I check updates like on Twitter or whatever, just like once or twice a day, just be like, okay, what's going on? Anything like crazy happening? And then I was just like, just focused on, like I had to focus on creating. So I was just started working on like a little mixtape because I was like, I need to have something that I can direct my attention to. Because, you know, I don't know where I read it, but it's like whenever you have like a purpose to give you something to like live for. You see like people all the time, like they retire and then they just die because like they don't have nothing. Yeah, there's nothing to sustain them. So so I really don't even, I just think about this, you know, I go to work and then I come home and it's immediately I work out and then I start working on this mixtape. I just record songs, pull beats off of YouTube and then just record songs. So I don't really have space in my mind for thinking about like corona because my mind is always just like, okay, you know, once you start working out, you're just like, damn, I'm still a little bit of muscles. Like I want to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? You get that momentum. And then so it puts me in the mindset is like, I'm feeling good about myself. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, I'm doing, and everything is like a trickle down effect. Like by working out, like I want to be more consistent with my breathing exercise. I want to be more consistent with my qigong. I want to eat better. You know what I'm saying? I want to do all these things, and everything else just doesn't. I just don't have space for the negative part of what the corona stuff is, and not to take it lightly because like I had 2 friends that actually like passed away from it.
Shit.
Yeah. But. Yeah, I mean, but you know, it's just one of them. I mean, they had okay. So I don't know the one guy on Facebook. I don't know if because they really don't know his cause of death. He just so maybe just one. I don't know how the other one passed away, but it was like yesterday, I think. But I just assumed that it was corona related. But one of them, he had like diabetes and stuff. So rest in peace, Kenny Mercury and Joy. Nitro, but
rest in peace.
Yeah, man. But you know, but that's the thing. It's really just I think it's really important that you know we do these things. You know what what I just found really interesting, man, with all the coverage of the corona stuff is, you know, they just like they go on the news and they talk about wash your hands and wear these masks and don't go outside. But I haven't seen anything on the news where they talk about like how to build your immune system up. I really haven't seen that like once. So they're always just like, if this happens, go to the doctor. If this happens, stay home. But like they never say like, this is what you should do to make sure you don't actually get it. It's just like, so I always thought that was weird that, you know, they don't talk about that.
So what do you think about with the fear that they're basically pushing onto the people? And I feel like a lot of people are unconsciously soaking in all this information and they're unconsciously living in fear right now. They're kind of everything, all the reactions, everything they're doing is out of fear. It's not really logic. It's just them getting all this information from the news. And it's like, oh God, I gotta do, oh my God, where's my stimulus check? Oh my God, where's the toilet paper? Oh my God, like, they almost have to like kind of slow down and take that breath that you were talking about. So how can people like get out of living in that fear, in that panic mode, and just learn how to focus and relax and just
turn off the TV? Yeah. That's probably the easiest way. I mean, the first step rather.
That's the first step. But then you got all these other people who's like, oh, did you hear that now you can't step out your house or you get shot by the military? Like, you know, you get scared, like, damn, for real? Like, oh, yeah, oh, if you go to the grocery store, if you don't wear your mask, yo, I don't know you, bro.
Yeah. I looked at it, man, like, I just decided, like, that I wasn't going to be fearful of any of this, you know, and like, luckily, like, I have like a group, it's actually where I ordered this stuff from the Meta Center. They do like these calls where we kind of just like discuss these things and like the stuff that's going on. So it's like, it's a different perspective than what's happening on the news. So like, when everything like first broke out, about the corona, like there was a lot of like stories that were happening behind the scenes that like nobody was even talking about. Like it was a bunch of locusts were like ravaging Africa. Yeah, I don't know. I posted on my Instagram. It was like 10 different things that were happening that it was like the media is not covering. So like we kind of like when we talk about that, we kind of just focus on those things and just be like trying to be very level-headed about it and understand like what's really happening, because like if you look right now, there's a lot of different storylines from a conspiracy level of like what's actually happening. You have the Bill Gates thing, like he's trying to vaccinate everybody and depopulate the world. You got the 5G angle. You got the Trump. Trump is trying to rig up all the pedophiles. You heard about that one?
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah, so they got the whole QAnon thing. They have individuals talking about like there's a bunch of a wave of cosmic energy that's coming towards the earth, and that's the reason they don't want people outside, is because people will kind of upgrade themselves. So they want them to be inside, because the more they're out in the sun, the more of this cosmic energy they're going to be getting. So there's like all these like different like, you know, theories, and essentially you just have to like choose what you believe to be your truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want to be in the house or do you want to be out? Like, I just feel like whatever truth you decide, that's what's going to be for you. Because like if you believe that 5G is going to fry your insides, like it's probably going to happen eventually for you. You know what I'm saying? It might not happen for everybody, but it probably, because you'll be looking for it. Like you'll be attracting that to you through fear. So, you know, fear is like a very powerful force throughout the universe. So like, so you'll start attracting it. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll be thinking about it all the time. You know, and your every move will be calculated probably against it and trying to avoid it, to the point where it starts to, maybe your body just starts to manifest some of these symptoms, and then you're just like, oh, I knew it was 5G. You know what I'm saying? So same way, like, you know, if you went to, you know, I was thinking about that. It's like if you go to the doctor right now and you feel fine, but then they're just like, no, you got COVID. You don't have any symptoms, but you have it. And now you're just like, oh shit, I got it. Like, oh man, and then you just start, I'm feeling sick now, and you start feeling a certain way, and then they're like, oh, you know what, sorry about that. It was a misdiagnosis.
Sorry about
that. That happens all the time. It's the placebo effect. So, yeah. So I just be like, man, you know, my main thing, and it's a very hard thing. You know, you just really have to, I think in these particular times, like it's very important to condition your mind to the reality that you want. Because like, if you just look at this year, this has been a very emotional year, and a very like, yeah, just like a roller coaster of emotions for this year. I mean, we started the year out thinking that we were going to go to war. You know what I'm saying? So that put people at, you know, this way high anxiety level. And you had like, you know, Kobe passing away, that made people like super sad. Now everybody's like locked down and they're like scared for their lives, because like we're living this environment. Like we don't really know what's going to happen. So that's putting a lot of like stress on people. You know what I'm saying? So like even if emotional stress happen, like where you're so assertive, you just watching CNN all day because you don't have nowhere to go. Like just go home.
Yo,
Yeah.
yeah, man, we lost each other for a second.
Um. Yeah. So man. So I don't know if it's like. Yeah. I forget what was. I don't know the last part you heard.
Yeah, you were chopping up so much. I was like you're getting, it was in and out. But it was about
Oh.
the roller coaster that we were going through with,
Yeah.
Kobe.
Yeah. I was basically saying that like it's very important that you protect your mind essentially, and you don't go to sleep with negative mind, like negative thoughts to program your subconscious. Because that time, I think it's like 10 minutes or 30 minutes right before you go to sleep, and right when you wake up in the morning, those are like very important times when your brains are like in a alpha, I believe it's alpha state. Alpha state. You're producing a lot of alpha waves. So it's a very important time for like programming your subconscious mind, essentially. So when you go to sleep, right before you go to sleep, it's like a hack. You can literally program like to the point where you want your subconscious mind to give you answers. If you working on like a script or something like that, you just like, I need you to work on this while I'm sleeping. And you program your mind to do that. You get these answers probably, when you wake up or figure it out while it's working. So like, you don't want to go to sleep with a mindset of watching the news, people are dying, and you're being scared and fearful, and then you go to sleep thinking about that. It's not gonna be good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So don't be looking at no Instagram as soon as you wake up. I know I have bad habits of sometimes I'll do it, not every day, but sometimes I don't know why, but my I gotta start like putting the phone outside of my room or something, because I just always end up like looking at my phone probably like 3 times a week, where I would wake up and I'm like, let me see what's going on here. My notifications here. I think I just can turn off my phone, and then
I turned off my note. I just recently turned it back on because like I was missing a lot. But like turning off my notifications from my phone was so therapeutic for me. Like because I wasn't constantly going to Instagram. You get a message as soon as somebody messages you, like you go back and check it, and it was very helpful for me to just just relax. Like, so that was I was saying, like one of the things I kind of told myself during this, 'cause I thought it was only be like a month or whatever, but my main thing was just like I want to upgrade myself during this quarantine. So like spiritually, physically, mentally. Um,
shit. Hello? Where?
forward to every day. I'm just
Yo. Holy shit.